We're now joined by State Senator Anthony Bucco, a Republican. He's, in fact, a Republican whip, which means he's a leader in the Senate in the Republican Party. Good to see you, Senator.
Good to see you, Steve.
You often put things in perspective for us on a range of issues, but one of the issues I want to talk to you about right away is the Clean Energy Initiative in the state of New Jersey. You have said in the past that you wanted to know the cost of the governor's clean energy program. And you have argued after a report came out on August 17th, it was a BPU report that was put together by the Brattle Group. Long story short is you don't buy the report. The report says that ratepayers will not be paying more for clean energy. You say they will. What's wrong with this picture?
Well, look, the report isn't complete. The report states that if you go to complete renewable energy in your household, you'll save a couple of $100 annually on your electric bills. But what it doesn't tell you is how much it will cost the family to convert their home to an entire electric system. You've got to replace your furnace in many cases. You've got to replace hot water heaters, stoves, and it also includes the purchase of an electric vehicle. So if you don't know what those costs are up front, how do you know whether or not it's beneficial to save a couple of $100 a year? You're talking about, potentially $75,000 investment or more to a family, and to save a couple of $100 a year. That seems, the cost benefit analysis for that doesn't seem right. And the fact that the report doesn't address the amount of money it will take to get there, to me, says it's flawed. And I don't think the report's worth the paper it's written on until we get that cost benefit analysis.
Let me disclose one item here which matters. The Caucus Educational Corporation, our not-for-profit production company, receives a grant from the third-party advertising agency that promotes the clean energy program in the state of New Jersey to do public awareness, which also means we do important conversations like this where people have a different perspective on it. That being said, Senator, I want to read to you, and we will have the BPU President, Board of Public Utilities President Joe Fiordaliso on to share his perspective on this ratepayer impact study. This is according to the Sierra Club. The BPU report confirms that the ratepayer will ultimately pay less if we transition to clean energy sources and our homes and vehicles are electrified. It goes on to talk about it. Now, why would the Sierra Club make that statement if what you just said about the 75 grand is accurate?
Look, they're making that statement because they're ignoring the fact of how much it's going to cost to get us to that point. So they're correct when they say you may save $100 or $200 a year on your electric bill, but they don't ever tell you how much it costs you to buy a new electric vehicle, to replace your furnace, to convert your home. And if you don't know those costs up front, how can you make a determination whether $200 savings a year is worth the initial investment? Without those other numbers, without those cost numbers, you can't make a logical decision. And let's face it, Steve, 60 or more % of our families are living day to day in the state of New Jersey. So to say to them, you've got to now make a huge investment, could be $100,000, could be 75, 100, could be more, depending on the size of your home and the appliances that you have to change and the vehicles that you have to purchase. If you have to make that investment, you have to make sure that the amount of money you're putting out is going to be recouped in a period of time, which makes the investment a logical choice. It also ignores.
Senator,
go ahead.
I'm sorry for interrupting, Senator, but you do believe that our reliance on fossil fuel is problematic environmentally in terms of climate change. You acknowledge that the status quo is not acceptable, correct?
Look, everybody wants a clean environment. Everybody wants a clean environment. But the fact of the matter is carbon emissions are at its lowest point in 33 years here in New Jersey. We're headed in the right direction. Whether or not we have to go to 100% renewable energy is a question.
What do you think we should do?
Well, I think we have to know the costs. We have to know the costs. And I don't think we can ignore clean natural gas. to say that we're throwing out natural gas along with everything else, I think is problematic. I don't think the system can handle 100% renewable
What do you mean
energy
the
as it
system?
is.
Are you talking about the grid?
The grid, sure. I mean, when you look at other states that have tried to go this route, you see that in the wintertime when it's cold, there's not enough energy to produce the heat. We've seen it all over the place. So you're talking about a huge amount of investment that has to get here in order for this to even potentially work. And then you're not even considering the fact of what it's going to cost each family. And the problem is, this isn't going through the legislature. This is being done by regulation. This is all being done by the DEP through regulation. It's going to be a regulation that takes effect in December that will require boilers in excess of a million BTU to be replaced by electric boilers. So now, when you think about that, I was just at the County College of Morris the other day, and the president said to me, "Is this really going to happen?" He said, "Do you know how many millions of dollars this is going to cost the college to replace our heating systems?" So who's going to pay for that? The taxpayers and the students. So there's huge economic impact associated with this plan. And without knowing the cost, without considering clean natural gas, we're making a big mistake. We're heading in the wrong direction.
Senator, I'll hold that thought right there. And I want to reiterate that we will have the BPU, Board of Public Utilities President Joe Fiordaliso. And again, we're going to have a very detailed, comprehensive interview with Governor Murphy, a half hour. I assure you the clean energy discussion will be part of that conversation. Real quick on this, Senator, we have an initiative called Reimagine Childcare. The graphic will be up. How important is affordable, accessible, quality childcare, particularly as it relates to the New Jersey economy and people being able to work and have quality childcare at the same time that they can afford?
It's very important. We have to make sure that we provide for good, affordable childcare so that people can go back to work. We saw during the pandemic, when things started to open up again, that parents were having trouble because their kids weren't back to school and they needed somebody to be home. They were learning remotely. So we saw that really showed us how big a problem it can be. We got to get people back to work, and we have to be able to have them be able to work comfortably, knowing their children are being taken care of. So that's an investment New Jersey needs to make.
You've been listening to State Senator Anthony Bucco, who is a leader in the Republican Party, in the State Senate Republican Party whip, which is, I believe, the second most prominent position in the minority party. Is that correct, Senator?
It usually goes the leader, the conference leader, and then the whip. But listen, I'm just honored to be in the State House. I'm honored to represent my district, and it's always great to be on with you to discuss these issues that affect people's livelihoods every day.
Thank you, Senator. Appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by the Turrell Fund, supporting Reimagine Childcare, the New Jersey Education Association, Summit Health, RWJ Barnabas Health, PSE&G, Bank of America, Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters, NJM Insurance Group, Fedway Associates, Inc., and by these public-spirited organizations, individuals, and associations committed to informing New Jersey citizens about the important issues facing the Garden State. And by Employers Association of New Jersey. Promotional support provided by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and by New Jersey Monthly.
NJM Insurance Company has been serving New Jersey policyholders for more than 100 years. But just who are NJM's policyholders? They're the men and women who teach our children, the public sector employees who maintain our infrastructure, the workers who craft our manufactured goods, and New Jersey's next generation of leaders, the people who make our state a great place to call home. NJM, we've got New Jersey